we're going to quickly go through the Royal Rumble that is coming up this Saturday night with a 6 p.m. start time from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. This is already over 62,000 tickets out for the show, according to WrestleTix. The gate is probably going to be north of 10 to 11 million dollars is probably the neighborhood. I don't think we're gonna get a gate figure. TKO has not been. They used to release gate figures, but have not been for quite some time. But 4 matches thus far, 2 of which are Rumble matches. Do you think this will be the amount of matches we have? Do you see any last minute match being added to bring it up to that magical number of 5?
I do, because this is a stadium show for a massive crowd, and I imagine maybe a slightly longer pay-per-view window than 3. I'm guessing 3 to 4. And for that reason, I could definitely see one more match being put in there. Yeah.
Well, we will save the Rumble matches for last. 2 out of 3 falls for the WWE tag titles, DIY against Motor City Machine Guns. I'll say, I think given this format of the show, I don't think they're going to get a crazy amount of time, but I think they should get like 16, 17 minutes, I hope, for this. My complaint a lot of times after a 2 out of 3 falls match is when you're done, would this match have been stronger had it just been a 1 fall match? And I guess we'll see with what the allotment is here, because certainly these 4 have the ability to have a real kick-ass match.
Yeah, a 2 out of 3 falls match is an interesting choice on a show that already almost guarantees 2-hour-long matches. You know, like, will the audience have the want or the attention to want to see, I don't know, like a 20-plus minute match here between DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns? I'm probably with you. I could see this going sub 20, maybe around 15 or something like that. Now, can you build a satisfying 2 out of 3 falls match in 15 to 17 minutes?
It's tough.
Yeah, depending on the pace of it. Let's also not, like, it's possible they could do 2 straight falls. Like, that's not completely out of the realm of possibility if they have creative booking enough. But I don't see a total change here. I think DIY are they're the heel threat that have just won the championships. But this is a match that's being put on here to, let's be honest, the Rumbles, they're not known for having great in-ring content, and a DIY and a Motor City Machine Guns match is. So I'm expecting takeover level DIY for this outing.
Yeah, and we will probably find this match. I imagine they're going to open a show with a Rumble and then close likely with the men's match. So this is probably going to be somewhere in the middle there. And this is wild to me. And unless there is some random show I'm not thinking of, this has to be the largest audience that the Machine Guns have ever performed in front of.
Yeah, bigger than any Wrestle Kingdom that they've been a part of.
Wrestle Kingdom is never Tokyo Dome cannot hold 62,000 people. So
Right.
This would have to be the largest audience these 2 have ever performed in front of, which is kind of mind-boggling when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens ladder match for the Undisputed Championship. I see this one going probably closer to 30. I think this one has to be a really lengthy, big. I think the blow-off, ultimately. I think you can make some interesting arguments if you went the Owens direction. I just do not see it happening. And I imagine Cody retains, and you have, Cody's Mania opponent setup coming out of this show should probably be where you want to be by the end of Monday's edition of Raw. But I think, man, for such a big show and the ladders involved, I think of what Kevin Owens did in some of these ladder wars in front of 2,000 people, if not less. And I think he'll probably go all out in this match. And I guess it'll be interesting if there's any Randy Orton on this show, if they hold him off, what that involvement is, because you would think that once this program is over, it should be Orton coming back for revenge on Owens and ultimately down the road being another potential opponent for Cody.
Yeah. I wouldn't see Randy opposing Cody at any point between now and WrestleMania, just because they've already got so much going on with Cody that I think having an Orton feud would be a little too much at this point. But I don't discount the fact that Orton could return either in the Rumble or at the end of this match.
What about the idea of, since Sami Zayn has been involved in all of this, he has to be there somewhere, I would think, in this. And
has Zayn not declared for the Rumble?
He is in the Rumble. But man, he's so attached to this particular match. The idea of doing like Cody and Randy together against Owens and Zayn coming out of this in Toronto is something you could get to.
Potentially. I see Zayn maybe sticking more to the singles route and maybe even being in the chamber match. So the match itself, I mean, I've seen some speculate that they could do the title change because, listen, like a number of Cody matches are so big that they don't necessarily need the championship. That might be true, but those big matches will be bigger with a championship. And I just know, like, the way that this company probably wants to headline their show with their biggest names, with the biggest title. I think Cody retains the championship. And if he's facing Punk, if he's facing Cena, if he's facing whomever, like The Rock comes back, they probably want that belt up there.
Well, you have the People's Championship. Are you forgetting about this?
I am forgetting.
Or was that retired? Did he give it away? He gave it away to Mom.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I think that, if you're looking at a Cena option, it's bigger with the championship, and I would see them going that direction. But this should be quite the spectacle, this match. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. Let's start off with the Women's Rumble. And again, these odds coming from a Bet Online. So let's look at the odd. Who do you think is the odds-on favorite to win the Women's Rumble?
Charlotte.
Charlotte is a minus 200 favorite, followed by Bianca Belair. And after that is Io Sky, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Jordan Grace, Jade Cargill, Naomi, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton. That's Stratton, Jax, and Naomi are 50-1 underdogs to win. So those are some of the options out there. Who comes to mind? Because this one I think is pretty wide open in terms of the different ways you can go and which championship you direct the winner toward.
In terms of what's been teased, I mean, we don't have so much direction beyond Tiffany. Well, the Charlotte vignettes, which have aired always next to a Tiffany Stratton appearance on 2 editions of SmackDown so far. So I think that's just what people are speculating. Beyond that, I mean, we haven't really had any sort of tease of like what's in store for Rhea Ripley. Certainly, like, what are people rumoring? Rhea versus Belair? Is that one of the rumored matches? Why is Belair such a high, or at least second highest in that list?
I mean, when you're looking at this field of like potential winners, like, yes, Charlotte and Becky, you would think, okay, automatic contenders that you could have come back and win this. But of people that are been announced, and this is the only list we have Nia Jax, Bayley, Charlotte, Naomi, Belair, Liv, Raquel, Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Nile, and Io Sky. Like, Io and Bianca are the only ones I could make that argument outside of like Charlotte and Becky that are kind of in that realm of who you could see winning this. And Belair winning is not the most like outlandish outcome here. And yeah, it would be an opponent for Rhea that you could go with. And
Rhea could also lose the championship to a Naomi or a Jade, for instance, if like Belair is to play out her storyline with the title at stake. But I do personally think it'll be Charlotte.
Do you expect Becky in this match?
I do, yeah. Do we expect Alexa Bliss?
I don't throw it out at all. I think this time of year you're going to get a lot of there was the story about her return being halted due to like contract negotiations, and
she tweeted a photo today of her with her child with the caption, "If you need me, I'll be here for a while," with a white heart.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of this around Rumble time. I do not take any of this stuff as gospel.
The baby is going to be in the Rumble.
That could be the surprise.
The baby
winner.
is signed.
Yeah. I think there's a decent shot. Listen, the women's match is the one that I could see them loading up with like a bunch of NXT appearances, maybe your cameos from some people from the past. Like they need to fill this up. And then other people on the roster to make up the 30. This is the match you put more of your surprises in, because I really don't think the men's match needs a whole lot of the surprise entrance or anything. Like, it's such a deep field of your main roster talents that outside of like maybe one blast from the past and a couple NXT people, just round it out with the people. Like the match stands on its own for me, the men's match. I don't think it needs a whole lot of the extra, the surprise pop that the women's match could use that kind of thing.
Who are some of those surprise names?
For the men?
For the women.
Oh, for the women. Well, Medusa was just there. I mean, the thing is, if you go up and down the alumni, they've kind of run the gauntlet of all of them, essentially. Like Jazz. I would love to see Jazz show up or something like that.
There's a lot more connection now through the TNA relationship that we could get people like Gail Kim show up. Really, like any number of notable wrestlers from TNA, I think are eligible now. Obviously, Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace. Just when we're talking about the games, Jordan Grace has claimed that she will be hosting a party for her mother that weekend.
Yeah. Again, I would take all this stuff with a grain of salt.
I'm 100% hosting my mom's 50th birthday party this weekend, and with a photo of a ticket, plane ticket. So it's fun. We're just having fun. But I think like we could speculate. Like, what do you have odds on that? Like who might be surprise entrants?
They list like potential winners. So let's go down here. You just give me your thought if we will see this person. Okay, you just say yes or no. Jordan Grace.
Yes.
Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill. Interesting. I want to say no.
I'm going to say no too. I would rather she come back on TV. Asuka. She's been out since May.
Is she still injured? What's the status? Do we know?
I mean, she's been rehabbing, but we're coming up on like 9 months.
I'll say yes. Sure.
Who else is here? How about Brie or Nikki Bella?
I could see Nikki.
Nikki could be somebody. Very heavily hinting at that. Julia, that would be an NXT one. These are all possible. Lita.
We'll just say yes every year for Lita. Just expect the Lita cameo every year.
They've got her on speed dial. Yeah, that's. I mean, between the women on the roster,
Santina Morella.
I don't know how well that one would go over.
No.
Maybe Ariana Grace. Maybe she'll get in.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the men's match. And who do we have announced so far? We have LA Knight, John Cena, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, Penta, Chad Gable, Braun Breaker, and Carmelo Hayes. Announced after Raw went off the air. I mean, is there a better way for Carmelo Hayes to declare?
So this is already at 15. About 15.
15. The overwhelming favorite right now is John Cena to win, followed by Rollins, followed by Punk, The Rock, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, Logan Paul, in that order. Okay. There's quite a bunch of names thrown out here to potentially win it. I think that this, again, as I've said, I think this Rumble has been built so well. And again, you have multiple options that you can still get to the same destination. I really like the idea of just Punk winning this Rumble. I think I think for the Cena story, it makes a lot more sense to extend it a month and he's got his back against the wall. And for Punk, it's just a nice story of like 1 year later, he comes back and wins this match that curtailed his whole 2024, or at least a significant point of it. And outside of that, I mean, unless you're going to do something where like Rollins, he came off the loss to Punk, that he could end up winning this and you prolong this, like Rollins is not.
And what's the match?
Whether it's, Rollins ends up getting into a title picture, or it's Punk having to try and go into the elimination chamber with Cena as well.
What's if Rollins wins? What's his match at Mania?
It could be something involving Reigns. It could be something where Reigns has to do both nights, something like that. That's the favor.
With Reigns being champion?
I mean, you look at like, do you see Gunther as champion by the time we get to Mania?
I'm going to say yes. I'm gonna say yes, John. I'm now, yeah. Ultimately, when we pick the men's Rumble winner, especially, we're talking about what we expect to be the main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And
Because I don't see Gunther being champion by Mania.
when we're talking about like the top 4 stars of this company, no, Gunther is not a part of that list. But would an appropriate dance partner elevate Gunther to a main event level status, and who would that be? So I certainly see a CM Punk being one of those headliners, and they've teased the Cody match. Punk versus Gunther at this point to me doesn't seem as likely. Not impossible, but I don't think it's likely. I'm gonna go with Punk for all the reasons you stated, John, and I would expect maybe could be Punk and Cody, could be Punk and Reigns somehow if they are able to, but that just feels, how would they get the title from Gunther to Reigns? Anyway, anything's possible. We're doing too much thinking out loud, but let's play the Cena route. Okay, Cena wins. What's his match at Mania?
Cody.
So whoever was okay, and where does that leave Gunther?
Well, Gunther might have this Goldberg match. Like
Yeah.
that could be his direction. He certainly doesn't need the title for that. And I can't fathom Punk and Gunther being your Mania destination.
Yeah, they could put the title up in the chamber match, and maybe exchange it that way without having Gunther take the loss.
Yes.
Although he would have to get pinned.
Yeah.
He would have to lose somehow, like
That's fine,
maybe
though.
DQ'd or something. That's a possibility. But I just to maybe focus on this, I expect Cena to fully be in the chamber match. They're making such a big deal about his participation in the last Elimination Chamber, and I think they're going to want to drag that tease out as long as they can. I think Cena could win the chamber and then go on to challenge for the title, but ultimately lose.
All right. Yes or no on some of these names that are listed here. To be in the Rumble. Randy Orton.
I'm going to say yes.
Big E.
No.
Brock Lesnar.
So the whole favor thing is somewhat interesting. I think they're certainly trying to make us think that Brock might be involved in all of this, but I think the favor is going to be something else. So I'm going to say no.
Goldberg.
I don't see him getting thrown out unless like it's to lead to a program, but I don't know. Like I feel like it would be probably a Gunther, and I don't necessarily see that. So I'm going to say no. Well, what do you say? I want to hear your thoughts too.
For Goldberg?
Sure. Yeah.
I'd say no. I don't think that's the way I would reintroduce him for this, especially if you are going to Gunther. Like I just don't know how a Rumble appearance beyond the pop really gets you there. So I'd say no on the Goldberg front. AJ Styles. I mean, it sounds like he might be ahead of schedule.
Sure. Yes. Then.
Okay. Other ones here. Yeah. No one that really jumps out. It's just people on the roster. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm gonna say no on Steve Austin.
I'm gonna say no too. Any names from NXT that you think would be of note? Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry is someone I could see them doing.
Malachi Black.
No, I don't think he can. I don't think he can.
Right. Right. He cannot.
So not him.
Okay.
Yeah, you have like your Josh Alexander types, or
I show speed
I'll say yes. I'll say yes on
to both he and
Kai Cenat. I don't think you can do one without the other.
Okay.
I'll say yes. It's whatever.
Yeah. One of them will be in.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's the Royal Rumble. 4 matches that we have so far. I could see him just leaving it at these 4. I guess it's always possible. You could add what would you add at this point? It would be
I could see them throwing in a women's match,
like Ripley or Stratton defending the title.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess.
But man, on such short notice, that's like
it's a cold match. But it's if they need to get to that certain amount, like this is going to be a long show even with these 4. Like they will easily get the 4 hours off these 4 matches.
True. Yeah. Think
Anyway,
of all the celebrity shots we're gonna get.
Oh boy, they're going to be scanning them. So yes, we will be live on Saturday right after the Royal Rumble. So tune in on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/postwrestling. Hit subscribe. That would be your way of saying thank you to us as we will be live after the Royal Rumble for a rundown of what might be a 4-match show. We will see.
If you like this video, consider joining our Patreon, the Post Wrestling Cafe. Multiple bonus podcasts every week, ad-free shows, and access to our full archive. Otherwise, a like and subscribe is much appreciated. Thank you for watching.